mostly red and white lights flashing in patterns. One went south, one further into the distance went north. The next night, 6:30 came and went. I stopped thinking about it, and at 7:25, I was in the other room around the corner and really heard one loudly and went to the other room to look. Major big thing, maybe about the size of a Corolla, about 3 stories over the roof, 1 or 2 more in the distance. This one had green lights on the side and some others mostly red and pink. After it passed, I just let it go thinking, would it matter if I called anyone? So they called the cops to report the whole scenario. And they suggested to call the MTA police. He said there were a bunch of reports in New Rochelle the night before. So, okay, that's some interesting information there. So that Bronx night vision shot at night was in 2020, and this is in the summer of 2013. It's not new. It's not new. This is in the Bronx. This is in the Bronx Botanical Garden. I was with a friend who sees UFOs all the time. And I know it looks like a balloon, but, that's not a string attached to it. That's a very rigid element there. And then you have those very interesting colors.
There was one well-documented case Soviet researchers came up with where a UFO hovered over a nuclear missile silo and activated the go sequence. No matter what the technicians in the launch control facility try to do, they couldn't stop this thing from going into launch mode, right? And then it stopped on its own. The alien stopped it about 12 seconds before it was set to launch. And then you look at a book like the memoirs of Dean Acheson, former Secretary of State of the U.S. He talks in that book, which I've read, about it. He was in the Secretary of Defense office, Robert Lovett at the time, when huge waves of UFOs were coming down over the Arctic Circle, and they didn't know if it was a ICBM attack or not, and they were freaking out about it. Point being is these beings have had a marked interest in the nuclear weapons development here on Earth. They've deactivated missiles, made them go offline in America. They've initiated a launch sequence in the Soviet Union. You're going to start seeing UFOs shooting at each other, and some of the video we've seen may suggest it's already
like
starting.
that.
We're concerned about the nuclear weapons development. We detected nuclear explosions in our world, and some of these aliens were saying we're not even from your dimension or your plane of existence. We're from other planes of existence. But by constantly, all someone has to do is go check the record. How many nuclear above ground, underground nuclear tests have been fired off over the decades? Hundreds of them.
You can see it on Google Earth.
You can see it on Google Earth.
Yeah.
And then these aliens are saying, it's not only having an impact on your world, it's having an impact on our world. So we're begging you, please tell your leaders to stop doing it. Roger Lear wrote The Aliens and the Scalpel. He was a podiatrist, and he extracted a number of implants out of real abductees, right?
Yeah.
And
Their
they
feet, too.
the feet. They examine these things, and it's like some of them are like have no known human origin, right? The ingredients, they're just so off the wall that they could not have been manufactured on Earth, right?
Right now, the DoD is playing dead while the dreaded drones are crawling all over the place. The DoD is not close to being so helpless. It's a trap. They are calculating that Operation Drone Invasion will make us feel so confused and helpless. We will give them anything they want to prevent a real invasion of drones. And I just thought that was interesting because the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy, there are connections there. They're not doing the best things for humanity and the people in this country, to put it lightly.